A committee in the Texas House took no action yet on a bill that aims to crack down on access to abortion medication. The State Affairs Committee on Friday heard hours of testimony on House Bill 5510. It would increase penalties for mailing abortion pills to patients here in the state. Joining us this afternoon is a reporter tracking legislation like this during the session. Eleanor Klibanoff covers women's health for the Texas Tribune. Eleanor, welcome and thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Before we talk more about this legislation particularly, I'm hoping you can give us a sense about how often medication-induced abortions are happening here in Texas. Is that something the state is tracking at all?
So this has been sort of an undercurrent in the abortion debate and the abortion conversation since Texas banned nearly all abortions in summer 2022. In fact, nationally, since more than a dozen states banned abortion, the number of abortions has actually increased in the country, in large parts because people are finding ways to circumvent these bans by obtaining abortion-inducing medication. The state does not track that. It's part of the trouble they've had is they're not certain how many people are obtaining these pills, either by traveling out of state, having them mailed into the state, or having someone, transport them to them. But it's certainly been a relatively widespread practice for people who want to terminate their pregnancies and, find that they're not able to do so through their doctor or through an abortion provider like they were before these bans went into effect.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving us that context. I think that helps set up our conversation now about this legislation that's under consideration. So House Bill 5510, we mentioned there at the outset, has companion legislation over in the Senate, and the Senate could actually vote on its version of this bill, maybe even today. So talk to us about what these proposals seek to do.
So these proposals are being called sort of the most widespread crackdown we've seen from any state on abortion pills. It would allow someone to sue someone who they believe has provided these pills to someone in Texas for up to $100,000. It's sort of this bounty hunter provision, it's sometimes called, that was used before Texas banned abortion to try to strictly restrict abortion. So now it's being applied to abortion pills. It would empower the Attorney General to go after certain offenses. It would sort of just really increase the number of tools the state has to crack down on these pills, an attempt to crack down on the people outside of Texas who are providing those pills.
And you touched on this just a few moments ago, but I'm hoping you can explain a little bit more. Why do the authors of these different bills say this kind of crackdown is needed, and what's the opposition they're meeting there in the Texas legislature, if any at all?
Sure. So this has been a real frustration for anti-abortion groups and conservative lawmakers. Getting the chance for them to ban abortion is, for many of them, a goal that's been in the works for the movement decades. And to find out that people are, in some ways, at least some people are unaffected by those bans. They are finding ways to still terminate their pregnancies is extremely frustrating. And so there's been this real frustration. A lot of people are very upset about, what they see as circumventing these bans, and would like to crack down on them as much as possible. On the other side, people say, of course, there are abortion advocates who feel like, this is healthcare, and they feel that people should be able to access these medications. But I think there's also sort of these legal squishy areas about, how far can Texas go against someone who's not in the state of Texas that's providing these pills, or how much can we do to really crack down on internet commerce and interstate, commerce and things like that are really hard to crack down on technically, no matter how you feel about the issue.
Well, Eleanor Klibanoff, we appreciate your coverage here and sharing this perspective today. We will most certainly revisit this conversation at some point throughout the session, as there's only about a month left or so with it. But Eleanor, thanks again for being with us. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.